Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to cover this story because I think it's a good example of why the word woman and the definition of a woman is so important. And I want people to be aware that a lot of companies now have forgotten what a woman is and they have their broad definition of the word. So it's something that we really need to be aware of, especially if women only means something to you, especially if you have an expectation of a woman-only space. You now need to be aware that if a company is woke, you cannot rely on that term anymore. You're going to get all sorts claiming to be a woman. Women-only spaces are very important for various reasons, whether it's safety reasons. Now, I'm not here to say that men are dangerous, but there are circumstances where a woman feels more comfortable being in a woman-only space. That's what I'm saying. When a company claims to be providing a woman-only space or claims to be connecting you with other women, unfortunately, we can no longer rely on that being the case. We may very well get somebody saying that they're non-binary, but is actually male. We may very well get somebody who is a man who identifies as a woman. This is where we're at now, and we know this. So what's going on with Lyft and a recent promotion I saw of theirs and their version of celebrating International Women's Day, it really does stress the importance of being clear on the definition of woman. So Lyft launched their Woman Plus Connect service, which means that drivers and passengers who are women are more likely to be connected with other women. So if you are a rider and you turn on this feature, you're more likely to get a woman to pick you up and take you to your destination. If you're a driver and you turn on this feature, you're more likely to get a passenger who is a woman. Now, there have been some horrific stories of what female drivers have been through. Some have even lost their lives when it comes to providing this service for either Lyft or Uber. So a lot of this, you would say, is for security purposes, where a woman just feels more comfortable knowing that she's more likely to get picked up by another woman or more likely to have female passengers. A lot of it is to do with security and safety. So it's important. So 2.4 million riders are believed to use this service, and it's available in 8 different cities.
Rideshare app Lyft is rolling out a brand new feature, Women Plus Connect, in 5 cities from Chicago to San Diego, which will give women Lyft users the option to request a driver or passenger of the same gender.
Maybe you're in a new city, maybe it's late at night, maybe you've had a couple drinks, whatever it might be. And just for your own peace of mind, the ability to choose a woman driver might be exactly the thing that allows you to say, you know what? Yeah, this really is making my life better.
If you're in one of the 5 cities where Women Plus Connect is launching, drivers and riders who have selected woman or non-binary as their gender can open the updated app and will be prompted with an option to enable the new feature.
It's literally, a toggle that you can always turn on or off.
Lyft CEO David Risher hopes to provide that feeling of comfort and safety, not just for the riders, but the drivers too. Lyft says just 23% of its drivers are women. Risher hopes to increase that number.
Half the population, roughly, are women. But today, some segment of those women riders are saying, I don't always feel comfortable in your car. That's bad for us. We want the opposite.
That comfort could be key given a persistent issue facing rideshare apps. Reports of sexual harassment and assault perpetrated by both riders and drivers. Competing service Uber reported over 3,800 incidents in 2019 and 2020, while Lyft said it had over 4,000 between 2017 and 2019.
Is this an acknowledgement of that problem? Is this meant to help fix that, this new feature?
I think it's an acknowledgement of the world we live in, that sexual assaults happen. Unacceptable, terrible. Even one is unacceptable. We have to create an environment where it's going to happen less and less and less and less.
Single mom Mimi Fan has been driving for Lyft for over a decade. She says the feature makes her feel more comfortable requesting passengers at different times of day and in different areas.
And for me as a female driver, I would feel just an extra layer of confidence where, I can just really focus on, the ride itself.
Do you think this could make more women want to drive for Lyft if they know that they have that power about who's getting into their car?
Absolutely.
It's presented in a way to make women feel more secure, especially in the rise of SAs occurring when taking part in these sort of services. We've got single mothers trying to earn extra money. We've got women who it may be their second job. They may have to do this at night after their day job. So of course, that is a concern. Safety matters, and safety is at the forefront, of the mind of various drivers and riders. And knowing that you're more likely to get a woman, it brings, like he said there, peace of mind. But this service is open to anybody who identifies as a woman. That's all is required. So all of those lovely words that they said there about feeling more safe, feeling more secure, attracting more female drivers, doesn't really mean anything, because this is not based on biology. This is based on, once again, identity. When you're somebody who wants a woman to pick you up, to feel more safe, to feel more secure, this person may very well end up being your driver.
Today's gender... Today's gender's been canceled. I look too good for a gender today.
It is Friday, and I need to make some money, so we're going to go out and drive some people around and give them nicknames. However, I've already got 2 passengers that I got to catch you up.
I was sitting there having a cup of coffee in my little rice bowl, and she's talking with some of the people in there, and I made some comment on top of her conversation, as I'm known to do. I interrupt all the time. Anyway, she looks at me and she's like, "You look familiar. Have we met?" And I'm like, "Davy Felton." And that's when she recognized me. It was the most gender affirming thing, because I did. Last time we saw each other, I looked a lot different.
Women Plus Connect is a feature that matches women and non-binary drivers with more women and non-binary riders.
Women Plus Connect gives women and non-binary drivers the option to turn on a preference that will prioritize matches with other nearby women and non-binary riders. Women Plus Connect first launched in September of last year in select early access cities, but now they're expanding it nationwide. I'm so excited. This feature offers more control over the driving experience for women and non-binary people, allowing them to feel more confident in the car. All right, time to get driving.
So if you've turned on the Women Plus Connect feature and Davey shows up to give you a ride, many could say that's misleading. It's very simple. Now, if people just saw that today segment, they would download the app and turn on the feature thinking that another woman, a female, is going to pick them up. But obviously, that's not necessarily the case. If you're on TikTok, if you're on X, maybe you would be aware that it actually means just anybody who identifies as a woman. But for women at home, housewives maybe, watching the Today Show, they're going to turn on that feature, and someone like Davey may very well be the person who shows up. Now, nothing against Davey, not saying there's anything unsafe about this individual, but women have the right to have an expectation that a woman-only space or an app that connects you with other women is going to do just that. Like I've been saying for the longest time, like we've all been saying, biology matters. And I'm tired of this identity fallacy to the point where women can't have the expectation of being connected with other women anymore. You can't rely on companies saying that this is a women's only space. You can't rely on a company saying that they're going to connect you with other women, that you're more likely to be connected to other women than men if you turn on this feature. You can't rely on that anymore. And my suggestion is to other women, before you rely on the whole women-only label, research these companies. Research their values. Research if they know what a woman is. Because unfortunately, it's more likely that you're going to find yourself in a situation where you think you're going to be connected with another female and someone like Davey turns up. Many would see this as somebody who's cosplaying women, dressing up when he feels like it in women's clothing. And that's that person's choice. But that doesn't make the person a woman. And there are real world consequences to this. I mean, a woman who has had past trauma, who seeks out women-only spaces just for her own peace of mind. Not that she's got anything against men or men are not safe or anything like that. That's not what we're saying here. But for women who really need to just be in a women-only space, the last thing they need is to be misled, is to get their hopes up thinking they're getting one thing and then something else completely different turns up. That's all I'm saying. So companies like Lyft, stop playing with women. Stop playing with us. Enough of this. If this is a women's connect feature, connect them with other women. But of course, you're always going to get the people who say this needs to be inclusive. This is great that it includes, all sorts of women. Apparently that's great. If you read the comments on Davy's page, there's people praising this, saying how wonderful it is. So happy it's not just for cis women. We need people like you. What safety features are in place to ensure it isn't exploited? Very good question, Adam. Very good question. Because if this is just based on identity, anybody who may have an ulterior motive, who wants to be connected with women, can just say they identify as a woman, or can just say they're non-binary. What a joy it is to see how far you have come on your journey. So happy for you. Thank you so much for making sure I know to never use Lyft. Much appreciated. Okay. Maybe not all the comments are in support then. Okay. And that's what this has shown me. I will never use Lyft. I'm going to look up Uber. Apparently they have a similar feature. So let's see what Uber is doing. But again, this is just something we all need to be aware of. Women only, women connect is not all it seems. Someone said I'm never using Uber again. Uh-oh, I hope if Uber is not doing this sort of thing, I hope they don't get blamed for what Lyft is doing. Now, there's some women who would love getting picked up by a trans-identified male. They would love getting picked up by such a person and think it's so cool and, oh, I love your hair, I love your outfit. That's their, prerogative. But there are other women who are going to look at that segment on Today and have an expectation of being picked up by a female. And it's absolutely unforgivable that they're going to be put in a situation that is going to, cause them anxiety, perhaps. But it's just going to be so disappointing. And it does raise the question, is women only a thing of the past? Can we no longer rely on that label anymore? Sadly, it's getting more and more like that. So I really hope that these companies really begin to think about the consequences of messing with women like this, messing with this, expectation that women have of being connected with other women, or something being women only, or women, more likely. Because it does have disclaimers saying that, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to be picked up by a woman because there's only 23% of drivers who are women. But that's not the issue. The issue is when somebody who claims to be a woman picks you up, it may very well be a biological man. For that reason, I certainly would not be using Lyft. I don't use them anyway, but still, it's even more reason to avoid this company and companies who do not know what a woman is. Because enough is enough of this. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves and God willing, I will see you in the next video.